I've been a nurse for about 30 years, and I spent most of my life in the hospital looking after patients. Most recently, I worked with patients in pain, and what I found was that mainstream healthcare couldn't really do a lot to help them. And so it led me on a journey to look into other forms of healing. And so I studied energy-based healing and mindfulness meditation. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what I learned when I was doing that. This is a quote attributed to Chief Seattle. And what he says is, man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. And whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. Okay. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. So it puts us in a very important position in our balance with the rest of all of nature. In ancient times, people studied about the life force, or the chi flow in the body. So in India, they called it prana. In China, it's chi. In Japan, it's ki. And Native American Indians actually valued all of nature and really acknowledged how much in balance with nature we are. So according to Native American Indian, we are in perfect balance with all of nature, and so that every rock, every mountain, every tree, every lake has a soul and a spirit, and it's really important to acknowledge that. This is a picture by Alex Gray. Alex Gray is an intuitive spiritual artist who is able to see the human energy flow, and he sees all of us like this. So he sees the energy flowing through the person and the balance between all of nature. And in this picture, he has positioned us in amongst all of the planets, the trees, the animals, the lakes, rivers, mountains, oceans. This is an ancient symbol, the caduceus, and actually is the symbol of modern medicine. Interestingly, the caduceus depicts the energy flow in the body. So, right here, where the snake crosses the cane, are actually located the chakras. The chakras are vortexes of energy that are part of the human energy flow. So this biofield is a complex, extremely subtle, weak electromagnetic field that is around the human organism. And it contains all of the information necessary for regulating life. It also contains all of our thoughts, all of our emotions are sitting out there in this biofield. Another picture painted by Alex Gray shows the flow of energy through the body and shows the chakras down the center. And another picture. So I'd like to ask you to join me. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath into your body. Just adjust your position so your back is slightly straight. Perhaps your feet are on the floor. And take a deep breath all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. And exhale slowly. And once more. And exhale slowly. And this very simple act of taking a deep breath in is what is thought to circulate the chi in the body. So it actually moves the life force through you on a very regular basis. And it's a very simple but very powerful act that we have within our power. Life is considered to be conscious energy that steps down from a subtle form to the physical form. It moves from this very subtle outside of the body into the physical. And as I mentioned before, that contained within this biofield are all of our thoughts and all of our emotions. This is a diagram from HeartMath. They've actually measured this electromagnetic field around the body, and they demonstrate a very large circle, which is in fact the heart energy, and the smaller circle is from the mind or the brain. So dis-ease or lack of ease actually first begins outside in the biofield, and when it's in the biofield, it is much easier to remove or balance than it is when it's in the physical body. Once it steps down to the physical body and becomes matter, it becomes more difficult to move. So energy-based healing is a type of healing that people can learn how to do. There are various forms of this type of healing. Langara College teaches something called integrative energy healing. Healing Touch International teaches what's called healing touch. And therapeutic touch practitioners also learned a similar kind of a technique. People are trained in this, and once they're trained in this kind of energy healing, they're actually able to feel this very subtle electromagnetic field around the body. And interestingly, it's not that hard to do. In fact, it's available to all of us. We only have to shift our attention from the outside to the inside. And one way that I've found that's very effective to do this is through mindfulness. So mindfulness is about presence in the moment. It's about shifting the focus of attention away from the external environment inside of the body. And once one does that, one is able to notice what's going on inside the body and notice to see if there's any needs that haven't been met for the physical body. So I'm going to ask you to do this breathing technique one more time, taking a deep breath into the body. And exhale slowly. And turn your attention away from the external environment to the inside of your body. Perhaps notice feeling the pressure of your feet on the floor. Noticing if there's any muscles that are tense. Noticing if you can feel your heart beating. And so this shift of focus of attention leads us inside of the body, and we're able to identify what the body needs. So for example, sometimes you may find when you get home from work, you have a headache, and it might be because you've been holding your shoulders up around your neck or around your head all day. With the very simple act of actually releasing that stress and tension in the muscle would release the headache. So by attending to the internal environment of the body, you're able to look within, and you're able to actually find ways to help prevent disease from happening. So if you can identify the very moment that the muscle gets tense or tight and start to look within and relax it, or if you notice that you're extremely tired, you can actually rest longer. So it's just a switch of a focus of attention inside of the body and moving your attention away from the external environment. So through this powerful but simple act, we can actually listen to subtle cues. John Kabat-Zinn, who is an author in the area of mindfulness-based stress reduction, calls it coming to our senses. And importantly, energy actually follows our conscious thought. And so the other important thing about switching the focus of attention away from the external to the internal is that we can get intimately familiar with our thoughts. And often our thoughts are rambling, repetitive, almost like a squirrel on a treadmill, keeping on going and going and going in a circle. And so if energy is following thought and we're not aware of what our thoughts are, that can't be a good thing. So it's switching the focus to notice what our thoughts are and attending to what it is we're saying to ourselves on a repetitive basis. As well as helping ourselves heal, once we begin to attend to our thoughts, we can probably change some of our behaviors, in which case we can make safer and healthier choices for our planet. This is another picture by Alex Gray. He places man in the middle, surrounded again by all of nature, the earth, the ocean, the mountains. And I'd like to end by a quote from Albert St. Georgi, who suggests that in every culture and in every medical tradition before ours, healing was accomplished by moving energy. Thank you.